What's going on, XCFL, and welcome back to the Hitstick podcast. We have episode 19 here, and I am your host, Nick Larson, and man, is it good to be back. As many of you know, we had a quick little intermission, break, retirement, whatever you really want to call it, where the league kind of got shut down for a month and some change. Life got really busy for some of us, and it really just, we didn't really have a plan in place to keep this going. I first off just really want to apologize to all of our members. We kind of sprung this on, and it was very sudden. It just happened, but now life has slowed down. We are good to go. We are back, revamped staff. We have majority of our members back. It's been awesome to see the league just come right back together. It really shows the commitment you guys have to not only us as a staff, but the XCFL as a brand. I really just wanted to kind of get this podcast out there. The first thing you might notice, obviously, bottom left-hand corner, we got a new little fancy logo, the Madden Accord affiliate logo. We're going to be partnering with these guys over at Madden Accord. If you don't know what they are, you can always check them out at their website, www.maddenaccord.com, or their Twitter, @MaddenAccord. But if you don't know what it is, Madden Accord, it's where leagues come together. The guys over here at Madden Accord are all about bringing the Madden CFM community together, whether it's sharing ideas, sharing content, helping each other grow their connected franchise modes. We want to make sure, we're really going to focus on getting involved with these guys, partnering up with some of the leagues, helping out with content, jumping out to podcasts, promoting other guys' stuff. So make sure you check these guys out and really, get involved if you aren't yet. What they're doing is really great. It's another resource for us leagues to use to go along with Daddy Leagues and League Crawler and, really help bounce ideas off each other, and I think it'll be very beneficial for our league and all those involved in it as well. If you have any questions on Madden Accord, make sure to shoot me a DM. We can talk about it. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this Hitstick podcast. So the reason for this one, I kind of want to recap some of our Madden 18 cycle. We got through 5 seasons, 5 and some change, but we're only going to go with the 5 because those are the 5 fully completed seasons. So not as many as we normally get through, but let's take a look at who was able to win a Super Bowl in the Madden 18 cycle. So you can see up at the top here we have all of our Madden 17 winners. So you can see starting with Season 10 with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Commissioner Jim actually took home his first XCFL title. We're all still not sure how he did it, considering he might not have had a winning season the rest of the cycle. But he was able to pull it off. Jim, congratulations. And after that, Season 11 went to Coach Yost and the Tennessee Titans. Yost won his, I believe, 3rd championship. Maybe second championship. And then you can see Josh and his Dallas Cowboys took over, winning 3 straight, 12, 13, and 14. That was a stacked team, and he built them well. And, he just took down not only the tough NFC competition, but, some big matchups in the Super Bowl as well. And then we closed out Season 15 with Jack actually upsetting Josh throughout the NFC playoffs and going on to claim his first ever XCFL Super Bowl. So that's that with the past winners. We usually get through 6, 7 seasons, so I'm thinking Madden 19 we're going to get through a bunch as well. Everyone's going to be excited. We're back and ready to rock. Another thing I wanted to cover in this Hitstick podcast is going to be our XCFL Creative Players Hall of Fame. A lot of you might have remembered it from a show we did last year. You can kind of get the idea. These are all the guys that were drafted. They're not real players. These are all drafted players that we feel made an impact in the XCFL in their seasons, whether it was a 6-year career, whether it was a 3-year career, whatever it was. I'm going to flash some guys up on the screen from our class of 2017. You can see, the Deion Gateses, the Jacoby Askews, some of these guys that, were memorable to most of us XCFL members, put up great stats, won big-time awards, were really the top guys that really etched their name in XCFL history. So with that being said, I bring you the 2018 Cycle Creative Player Hall of Fame. So, first on the list, we're going alphabetical order here, so it is in no, it's not any special order other than alphabetical. But first on the list is Detroit Lions wide receiver Dixon Bishop. Dixon Bishop, he only played 3 years in the XCFL, but he was a 6'5", 225-pound monster. He was fast. You can see in only 48 games, he caught 52 touchdowns along with 197 catches and 4,500 yards. 3-time Pro Bowler, season 13 Rookie of the Year, best wide receiver, season 13 as well. He was a top number 3 overall pick in the season 13 draft by myself, actually. But he had a hell of a career with the Detroit Lions in a short amount of time, and was one of those guys that was virtually unstoppable throughout the Madden 18 cycle. So congrats Dixon Bishop. And we will move on to our next inductee, and it is Long Duncan, the free safety from the Miami Dolphins. This guy kind of came out of nowhere. He was a third-round pick, 72nd overall, 5'10", 200 pounds, played 4 seasons, 64 games, so he didn't miss a game in his entire career. 3-time Pro Bowler, season 12 Rookie of the Year, Defense Rookie of the Year, 282 total tackles to go along with the 24 INTs, 43 pass breakups, and 8 forced fumbles, 6 touchdowns as well. So this was a guy that kind of patrolled that secondary in Miami, and along with some other guys, and he really put together a phenomenal Madden 18 cycle. Definitely one of the best safeties in a very talented safety league, especially throughout the Madden 18 cycle. Moving on to our next pick, or our next inductee, it is Gordon Fedorowicz from the Cleveland Browns. So this was a middle linebacker. He played with multiple users. I think Brent drafted him, and then Van Flank kind of took over and kind of ran with him and really turned Fedorowicz into an absolute monster. He played 5 seasons, 73 games played, 2-time Pro Bowler, almost 400 tackles, 58 tackles for a loss, 15.5 sacks, 16 picks, 50 passes deflected, 8 forced fumbles. He was all over the field for that Cleveland Browns defense for, he was a staple for them 5 years, early second round pick, but really made his name known and put his name up there with all the elite middle linebackers in the XCFL. Moving on to our next guy, and it is Hayden Hicks, another safety. He was drafted to the Buffalo Bills, but ended up getting traded to the Miami Dolphins. So he was actually the running mate with Long Duncan, who we just mentioned before. So this Dolphins secondary was absolutely loaded with these two at the back end. Hicks played 5 seasons, 2-time Pro Bowler, never missed a game. He played 80 regular season games for his two franchises. He was an 8th overall pick. He was a Heisman Trophy winner in college out of Wisconsin. 374 tackles, 25 INTs, 52 passes deflected, 13 forced fumbles. He was a hard hitter. He was regularly up there for the league leaders in total tackles. This guy was a monster. I know every team in the AFC East feared playing against him. He was just a headache when you had to play against the Miami Dolphins. So very rightfully earned, Hayden Hicks is a Hall of Famer. Moving on. Well, one of everybody's favorite names in the XCFL. We have Tua Hopkins, better known as V-Hop. He was drafted by the Indianapolis Colts, played there for, I think, 3 seasons before finishing up his last 2 with the Philadelphia Eagles. He was the number 2 overall pick, season 11, so the first draft class of Madden 18. But, look at the numbers of this guy. 377 total tackles, 12 tackles for loss, 33 interceptions, to pair with 68 passes deflected. 9 touchdowns. This guy got his hands on the ball all the time. He was a monster in that Indianapolis Colts secondary. Right up there. He might have been, pound for pound, the second best safety in the league behind Josh Jones. But what V-Hop did with the Colts was incredible. He had a great cycle. Definitely a guy that etched his name in XCFL history. We will move on to our next guy, and it is the guy that was picked right before V-Hop, and it is Trenton Morgan, the middle linebacker / outside linebacker for the Cincinnati Bengals and Miami Dolphins. He was drafted by the Bengals season 1 and ended up finishing his career again. Ended up getting traded to the Miami Dolphins. So that Dolphins defense was pretty nasty. But this guy did it all. He played outside linebackers first few years, racked up a bunch of sacks. He had elite speed. He was moved to middle and dominated. I mean, 5 seasons, 80 games played, barely got hurt. Season 11 Rookie of the Year, 2-time Pro Bowler, almost 400 tackles, 56 tackles for loss, almost 25 sacks, 13 interceptions, 25 passes deflected. He was a monster at whatever team he was on. Even when he was on the Bengals and wasn't winning games, he was still a force to be reckoned with. Up there for total tackles for loss. He was an absolute monster. But yeah, so Trenton Morgan is in the Hall of Fame. We will move to our next guy, and it is Roland Mumphrey. This guy kind of set the tone for what the Madden 18 cycle was going to be like. He was the first big body, speed type receiver, kind of Calvin Johnson-esque. 6'6", 231, had decent speed, 4.4 speed. 6'6", 230, and with good speed. He was dominant. Played 75 games, and you can just see the guy was a vacuum. In 5 seasons, he was a 4-time Pro Bowler. Season 15, best wide receiver. 369 catches, 6,300 yards, and 47 touchdowns. He spent his entire career with the Patriots, and was just, like I said, a vacuum. He was, an 75, 80 catch guy every single season, and really kind of put these big body speed receivers on the map. So congratulations, Roland Mumphrey. And we'll move to our next guy. And this guy kind of slid under the radar, but he is Preston Popp, the center for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So the Jags all cycle had one of the best rushing attacks, and this guy kind of anchored the entire thing. He was a 1-time Pro Bowler, but we all kind of know how Madden's offensive line Pro Bowl situation works. So he definitely deserved to be a Pro Bowler more than that. He was the 30th overall pick in the first draft of our Madden 18 cycle. Played 5 seasons, only allowed 11 career sacks, while routinely getting Leonard Fournette to almost 2,000 yards rushing every single season. Pop definitely deserves it. This is not a guy you guys might remember, but what he did this season was incredible for that Jacksonville franchise. Alrighty, moving on. Barry Roper, the middle linebacker from the Houston Texans. So Roper got picked, the 10th pick in the second round, so the 42nd overall pick. I believe this was a deep linebacker class. He spent all 5 seasons with the Houston Texans. But what this guy did was incredible. He did it all. He didn't have as many tackles as some of these other linebackers, but 62 tackles for a loss, 22 interceptions, 41 passes deflected, 9 forced fumbles. Roper really started coming on towards the end of his career, and it was incredible what he did for that Houston Texans defense, because we all know how Coach Boone's defenses normally are. And Roper was able to kind of shake that mantra and really help this Houston defense become elite. But congratulations, Coach Boone and Barry Roper, on making the Madden 18 Hall of Fame. And let's move on. So this guy might surprise a lot of people. He only played 2 seasons in the XCFL. It's Ashley Stewart, the left end for the Baltimore Ravens. But in this guy's 2 seasons, 2-time Pro Bowler, season 14 Rookie of the Year, season 14 and 15 best defensive lineman. He was a 3rd-round pick, 78th overall. What says it all? He played 32 career games and had 41.5 sacks, 23 tackles for a loss, 95 tackles, and forced 5 fumbles. If this guy would have came along earlier in the cycle, who knows the numbers he would have put up. But this is much deserved. It's not always about how long your XCFL career goes, but how fast you make a name for yourself, and Ashley Stewart did that for sure. Congratulations, Michael Prince and Ashley Stewart. Very impressive 2 seasons for you guys there. Alrighty, and we're going to move on here to our next guy, probably the most well-known player in this XCFL Hall of Fame, and it is none other than Gordon Todd, the wide receiver from Philadelphia and Detroit. Todd was taken in that second draft we had, so he played 4 seasons. He was a 9th overall pick, 6'5", 236, massive target, great speed right out of the box. He was an elite, once-in-a-cycle player. This guy was Calvin Johnson 2.0. He was, probably one of the most dominating players I've seen in the XCFL since Jacoby Askew in Madden 18, or Madden 17. But, what Gordon Todd did, 274 catches, 6,514 yards, and 64 touchdowns in 64 games. 4-time Pro Bowler, season 14 and season 15 best wide receiver. this guy was a monster. No matter where he played, he put up 1,000 yards every single season. And then when he did get traded to Detroit, he had a couple big seasons playing alongside Dixon Bishop as well, and just, established himself as maybe, a top 5 player of this cycle for Madden 18. It was pretty impressive what Gordon Todd was able to do with both of those franchises. Okay, and we're going to move on here to the only quarterback who made it in the Hall of Fame from last cycle, and it is Blair Triplett, the quarterback from the Washington Redskins. He got drafted in the 6th round, 167th pick. All he really had was throw power. The dude had a rocket arm. He was drafted by the Ravens, but never played a game with Ravens. He got dealt to the Redskins right before the preseason started. And from there, his career just took off. 5 seasons, 77 games played, only missed 3 games. 2 of them were due to suspension. 4-time Pro Bowler. Season 11 Rookie of the Year, Season 11, Season 12 Best Quarterback. He also won a Super Bowl. Look at the stats. 18,000, almost 19,000 yards, 194 touchdowns, 105 interceptions, 115.4 QBR. Blair Triplett did it all and really was he was what made that Washington Redskins offense go. And it was pretty impressive to see what he did. And easily one of the strongest arms this league has ever seen. Congratulations, Coach Jack and Blair Triplett, on your Hall of Fame induction. And we got one guy left here, and it is none other than the Indianapolis Colts middle linebacker Chandler West. West was taken he was the 2nd pick in the 2nd round, 34th overall. Played 5 seasons, 79 games played. He's only missed 1 game. 406 tackles, an absolute tackling machine. 63 tackles for loss, 17.5 sacks, 6 interceptions, 27 passes deflected. This guy was all over the field for Coach Shaun White. This is the 2nd season in a row Shaun White has actually drafted a middle linebacker and turned him into a XCFL Hall of Famer. If any of you remember Brandon Jimenez from the Madden 18 cycle, Chandler West did pretty much that for the Colts and Shaun White this year. What he was able to do on this defense side of the football for a team who starts out pretty bad, he definitely helped get the Colts decently competitive and gave them a shot in that AFC South. But that will conclude our Madden 18 Hall of Fame inductions there for our created players, our drafted players. Oh, sorry about that. So you can take a look at all the guys right there. Congratulations to all the owners, anyone who drafted them, anyone who played with any of them. Guys, just this is a focus. When you draft a guy and you really like him, hold on to him. Get him, help boost his stats up. Get him some good exposure so he can make the Hall of Fame. Get his name etched in the history of XCFL. Get his picture on the website. Whatever it is, it's a fun thing we do, really recognize some of these guys that aren't the real players. It's not the Matthew Staffords, the Aaron Rodgers, and some of these guys. It's our guys that we draft and we build up, and, some of these guys are 3rd, 5th, 4th, whatever round picks, and some are the first rounders. It's pretty cool, a good mix. So that's that. Those are our 13 Hall of Fame members for the class of 2018. Their plaques will be on our website. Make sure you guys check those out right next to our class of 2017. But we do have one more piece of business before I sign off here, and it is our 2018 Owners Hall of Fame nominees. So we induct 2 owners a year, or a cycle, based off of activity, content, division titles. It can be Super Bowl wins, whatever, success in the game. But it's more than that. It's about being, part of the XCFL brand. Do you play all the way through the cycle? Are you someone who bounces around? These guys are the best of the best, and I'm proud to introduce our inductees this year, or our nominees this year. These will all be voted on league wide by guys who are part of our Madden 18 cycle. So we have Dustin Doss, we have Jack Tyler, we have Air V, we got Josh Hanna, and then we got Shaun White. A lot of these guys have been with us for 8, 9, 10, 11 seasons, and we really appreciate every single thing you guys have brought to the XCFL, whether it's having a spot on staff, whether it's being active in chat, whether it's, bringing fun content ideas, or, just straight up winning games, winning Super Bowls, whatever it is. You guys are always there. You're always competitive. You do whatever you can to help make the XCFL a better place. and we are very happy we do have members like you guys. So this vote will be taken shortly before our Madden 19 cycle begins. We will be sure to announce the winners of that to you guys as well. Be on the lookout for another Hitstick podcast. It will be probably released next week. We will be breaking down our Madden 18 cycle top 25 players. So this can be real players, fake players, whoever. These are going to be the 25 best players from our Madden 18 campaign. It's a fun thing we do. If you want to see the last year's, I'll send you guys a YouTube link, but it's on our YouTube page. Pretty cool. We got all their stats, kind of break them down, rank them, talk about any success they might have. But it's cool because now we include, all the guys who are real players as well. And you can find all this stuff on our website as well. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. If you are interested in joining the XCFL or joining our wait list, make sure you contact us. Our Discord link will be on Twitter. You can always jump in and just start chatting with us, see how you like it, read our rule book. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. This is the first Hitstick podcast I've got to do in a while. Normally, I will be bringing on my co-host Brent and any users who want to come on for an interview or to discuss anything. It's what we do. This is our XCFL community, and this is for you guys. Whatever you want this to be, we can make it. So I am going to sign off here. Quick shout out to Madden Accord again. Quick shout out to Jim for helping me get this league back up off the ground. Brand new website coming soon. Make sure you stay tuned for that. If I missed anything, I'm sorry. Sorry about my voice. It is still gone from my bachelor party in Vegas. But I am Nick Larson. I am signing out. Thank you for listening, and I will see you guys soon. I can't stop.